Well, a family in Burin, Newfoundland has some special visitors this Christmas. Carolann Riggs and Patrick Dennis from the Canary Islands off the coast of Spain have been friends for years. And it's all because of a tragedy and a message in a bottle. Carolann and Patrick join us now from Burin. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. Carolann, can you start off by telling us how the relationship between you two started?
It started back in December of 2002. It was December the 7th. We received a message on the answer machine, and it was from Patrick saying that he was calling off the coast of Africa in the Canary Islands, and he was looking to speak with my daughter, Siobhan. Unfortunately, in January 17th of 2002, prior to that, Siobhan was involved in a tragic accident, that she had passed away. When we first got the message, we thought it was a prank. So I was going to delete it, but my son, who was 9 years old at the time, he started jumping up and down, and he said, "That man has my bottle." He said, "He has my sister's bottle and my bottle." He said, "And you better call him back." So we called Patrick, and the relationship has formed from there.
Meanwhile, Patrick, let's get your side of the story. You're on Tenerife, beautiful, warm part of the world, and you don't know about the tragedy that has affected that family in Newfoundland, and yet you have a message in a bottle. Tell us about that.
I was helping in a government program, because the Canary Islands are part of Spain, but they are in fact off the coast of Africa, about 2,000 kilometres from Spain. And but they're trying to help the young children speak English better. And I was participating in a program in a very remote area of the Canary Islands called Anaga on Tenerife. And the bottles arrived, and I really was the only English-speaking person there. And the bottles made their way to me. I felt sort of very, very privileged and lucky. In fact, the messages were addressed to the lucky person, and I felt very lucky. And then within about 4 or 5 days, I made the phone call, left a message on the answering machine, and then Carolann phoned back, and it was one hell of a phone call, I can tell you. I was very, very elated to be able to communicate to them, to Carolann and the children, that their message had arrived safely. And then Carolann informed me that the daughter had died that January. And I honestly didn't know what to say then. I think I gave my condolences and asked if we could possibly remain in contact in some way, because the fact bottles had arrived across the ocean was very interesting for the children in the school that I was working for. And Carolann gave me her email address. However, I think in the emotional distraction Carolann was feeling at the time, she forgot to put 2 numbers in it, or I didn't write them down. And I sent the email, and it was returned because the address was wrong. And then one of my students in the beer company in Tenerife found the correct address. I sent the message again. Carolann wrote back, and it's all taken off from there.
And you say it has taken off. Sorry, Patrick, I just wanted to say it has taken off, but it has blossomed into a relationship that finds you, Patrick, in this part of the world for your Christmas. Carolann, how did he come to be there in your home with your Christmas tree?
In 2004, we traveled to Tenerife and we brought back the bottles, and we invited Patrick's family at that time to come and visit. And in 2017, we went back to visit again, and we gave the invitation again. And in August of this year, he messaged and said that they would like to come for Christmas. So here they are.
So you're there now, Patrick, and almost your first trip to Canada. What's it like?
I'm just sort of landing, really. We arrived in St. John's yesterday morning at about 11 o'clock local time. We'd spent the night in Toronto airport because there was a 7-hour wait. And very good. It's fantastic. The best thing is it's snowing. And when you come from the Canary Islands, I'm coming with my wife and 2 children and a boyfriend. And they've never really been in the snow before. And we went out last night, and the smiles they had on their faces made everything worth it. It was amazing. That's fantastic.
Carolann, one final question for you. How do you think your daughter Siobhan would feel knowing that all this has happened since she died and since she put that message in the bottle?
Siobhan would be very happy because she was a little girl who she wanted to celebrate Christmas, everybody's birthday. Everything had to be a celebration. And I really do feel that this message landing over in Tenerife and Patrick getting this bottle and making this connection gives me some closure. It gives me a closure that, you know, she's not far. She is always here with us.
Patrick, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel incredibly useful. I think in our lives we do lots and lots of things, but most of them are really not very useful. And it makes me feel useful, and I've done something useful, if I explain myself correctly there. Also very privileged and very lucky.
Well, we feel privileged and lucky that both of you have found each other and that both of you have shared your story here with Canadians. Best of the season, all the best, Happy New Year's, happy travels when you do finally get out from under the snow there, Patrick. All the best to you both.
Yeah, thank you very much, and the same from me to everyone in Canada. Okay, thanks.
Merry Christmas.
That was Carolann Riggs and Patrick Dennis. They joined us from Burin, Newfoundland.